sorrow, running free.
All right. Listen, I wasn't going to get into the hype stuff, but I just wanted to see if someone recognized the song, and I believe that you did when you heard it, which tells me a couple things. You're most likely a Gen Zer, number one, and you're very familiar with Hootie and the Blowfish, number two, which is a beautiful thing. Doug, are you Gen Zer?
I think I'm a millennial. I'm
You're
82.
millennial?
I don't know.
You're 82? Yeah, you're millennial. You're I think the break is somewhere around,
It's like right around 81,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's somewhere around there, like around 80-ish or something. But anyways, you're the big dog in your class. So
Yeah.
Congratulations. All right. So we just started out with a little bit of Hootie and the Blowfish, a little bit of time because of today's topic. And honestly, probably one of my top 3 favorite topics to talk about. And guess what? Someone that is on here has experienced what it's like being with Mike Regina and time management. And that's my brother from another mother, Doug Brown, who's been traveling with me for many, many years. And he understands what it's like. And it's a little bit crazy, but I think that they enjoy it. So welcome back, my opposite entrepreneurs. It's so great to have you here today. You already know what time it is. It is time to get laser focused. And that's exactly what tonight's masterclass is all about. Time management. How many of you think you're effective with time management? All right, good. We got 1.5. Excellent out of 3. That's not fine. That's all good. So listen, tonight, it's not going to be the boring bullet point kind. I'm talking about the kind of time management that helps you become a machine, a high performance leader, a business owner, spouse, or parent, high performing. It's the difference between living on purpose and being stuck in neutral. But before we dive into today's class, let's look at some of the highlights from our last masterclass on negotiation, which I loved, and hopefully you did too. And the foundational truth of negotiation, in my opinion, is a good deal is when both parties walk away feeling like they won. Now, we talked about 4 different strategies for negotiation. Number 1 was anchoring first. Whoever throws out the first number usually sets the tone. So if you're confident in your value, anchor high. If you're the customer, you're going to anchor low. Number 2 was the power of silence. Once you ask a big question or present a number, say nothing. Most people rush to fill the awkward silence. Unfortunately, when you do that, you lose leverage when you talk too much. Then number 3, you have to have walk-away power. Know your walk-away price before you walk into the room. That's confidence. That's clarity. And that is control. If you don't have walk-away power, you're negotiating from a place of desperation, not strength. So it is imperative that you keep emotion out of negotiations, which is why preparation is so important. And then number 4, we have the MISO, or the multiple equivalent simultaneous offers. This technique gives the other party 2 to 3 offers that are equal in value to you, but different in structure. And then lastly, we had our homework, which was choose one of the 4 strategies to implement in a current business opportunity. Or number 2, record yourself practicing your ask with a team member, a peer, a friend, family member, whatever. Okay, it is time to dive into time management. So let's get clear right out of the gate. Everyone gets the same 24 hours. It's about what you do with those hours that separates the average from the awesome. From those who watch things happen on the sidelines, can't believe everything everyone's doing, to those who are making things happen. So my question is, which one are you? Well, you're opposite entrepreneurs, so you're constantly making things happen. So tonight, we're not going to just talk about managing your time. We're going to talk about mastering it. So why does time management matter? See, time management isn't just about being on time. It's about honoring time. You ever looked at it that way? Honoring time. So if you're the type of person who regularly runs 5 minutes late, here's the truth. You are unintentionally, whether you like it or not, saying your time matters more than the other person. That's not leadership. That is not excellence. And that is not the opposite entrepreneur way. Time management is about respect. Time management is about results. Time management is about responsibility. And ultimately, legacy. You see, I had a fraternity brother in college whom I worked alongside on a political campaign who would always be late, sometimes over an hour. And there is nothing that pisses me off more. And that became his legacy to me. And 25 plus years later, he reached out to me a few months ago and says, hey, let's get dinner. So we reconnected about a month ago and we went to Hall's. Hello, best steakhouse ever. So Doug, if you're ever in town, that's where we're going. So on the way there, I'm like rushing. I said, I know for a fact that this dude is going to be late. So why am I rushing? Much to my surprise, he was on time. And of course, me being kind of the ball breaker, once we sat down, that's where I started the conversation. I said, I cannot believe you're on time. I can't believe it. I said, bro, you are all grown up. It is amazing. I shared how he was always late for everything, and it drove me nuts because it was attached to my name. So I don't play with tardiness, but that was his legacy. The good news is, according to him, once he started serving in political office, which he did, he was actually the youngest state representative in New Hampshire. And by the way, I was his campaign manager, got him elected. It was really more or less just getting people from the college to come and vote and all that kind of good stuff. But anyways, he got it. Said he has never been late and has never missed a flight. I said, bro, I am shocked. You are no longer the ultimate sloth. And that was a term that we always passed around to a bunch of our brothers who were complete and total slackers. So I find that when I manage my time well, I am way more productive. I am way less stressed, and I operate with more energy. And I build momentum. And guess what? When I'm building momentum, that compounds. So personal confession, and some of you probably know, but I am obsessed with time management. Obsessed. People ask me all the time, Mike, how do you do it all? Here's the secret. Bring it in. It's a secret. I'm just going to tell you. I treat time like a treasure, like a competition. I will literally go another way if my wife and I are going to the same place because number one, I want to be first. And then number two, I want to see which way is quicker for the future because I am all about maximizing time. Now, let me just tell you a little bit about my routine. My mornings are booked to the minute. That's right, to the minute. I lay out my clothes the night before, my workout clothes, my clothes for when I'm done working out. I wake up between 2:30 and 3 a.m. every weekday. I set my alarm for literally 2:58. Why? Because I'm all about minutes. If I can pick up 2 minutes, I'm going to be able to get 2 more minutes of whatever it is that I want to focus on. And I almost never get gas during business hours. That is a total waste of prime time. Get it on the way home, get it when you're downtime, but do not get gas during business hours. You're wasting 5 minutes. Again, it's just all about minutes. And then lastly, I spreadsheet my vacations. Color coded, of course. So some people look at me and say, a spreadsheet? And they look at that thing and they go, there's no way. I think you're crazy. They say, I would never travel with you, until they travel with me. Then they realize I've already done all the thinking. So now we can just enjoy. And what I like to say is maximize time. And the best part is flexible. My systems give me freedom, not restriction. So let me ask you a question. Don't you just love the feeling of crushing a day? Doesn't it feel good when you just like went through all of your to-do lists? How do you feel? I'm sure you feel accomplished. I'm sure that you feel powerful. I'm sure that you feel peaceful. I'm sure that you feel confident. And I'm sure you feel like a boss. And you're like, yo, Mr. Time Management, I own you. And that's not accidental. That's the reward of managing your time with intention. Now, let's look at some statistics around time management and the cost of poor time management. So, the average worker is only productive 2 hours and 53 minutes per 8-hour day, according to Inc. magazine. What? If that doesn't make you sick and at the same time inspire you to teach your team strategies to stay productive, honestly, I don't know if anything will. Multitasking reduces productivity by up to 40%, according to American Psychological Association. Did you catch that? Multitasking can reduce productivity up to 40%. I know many people who carry the ability to multitask as a badge of honor, but here's the reality. You can reduce your productivity up to 40%. I mean, is that something that you're interested in? So I want to challenge you this week to work on not multitasking and just see how it works. I would love to know your thoughts. And then lastly, did you know companies lose almost $600 billion per year due to workplace distractions, according to Workplace Research Foundation? That number is insane. And I can tell you right now, there's billions of dollars that are wasted due to like fantasy football. It has a lot to do with that, by the way. A lot to do with that. So yeah, time management matters. So let's break this down into the principles that I live by. And I want to challenge you to implement them if you're already not using them. And number one is own your calendar. Don't let others run your schedule. You run it. You know, I tried many years ago allowing someone to manage my calendar one time. 2 days in, I said, no, I can't. I got this. I got this. I mean, it completely and totally stressed me out. And I'm not a control freak either. I'm just kidding. I know. I get it. Yes. Use what works for you. If it's a calendar, whatever kind of calendar it is, if it's a whiteboard, whatever it does that keeps you to stay on point, do it. Because for me, if it's not scheduled, if it's not in my phone, on my calendar or whatever, it doesn't exist for me. So have it down. Also, lead with dates and times for every meeting. I know we probably talked about that before, including clients. Listen to me. When you lead with dates and times, you will land those times 99% of the time. 99%. So my question to you is, do you want to have people meet when it's convenient for you? The answer should be a resounding yes. Why? Because if you call the shots, you get more done. If your meeting times are all over the place, I can tell you, you will not be more productive. Like, for example, today I had a meeting at 3 o'clock. I threw out 2 times and dates to the potential customer, and they picked one of them. Make their lives easier. That's what that does. Number 2, prioritize ruthlessly. Ask yourself daily, what's most important right now? What's driving the most impact? And then lastly, like, what can wait? If you treat every task like it's a top priority, then guess what? Nothing's really a top priority. So the key to time mastery isn't doing more. It is about doing what matters most and with relentless focus. So here are some ways that you can prioritize ruthlessly. Number one is use the 80-20 rule. The Pareto principle, 80% of your results come from 20% of your actions. So identify the few things that create the most impact and build your day around them. Here are some examples. 20% of your clients generate 80% of your revenue. I can assure you that's probably all of us. 20% of your meetings lead to 80% of your momentum. 20% of your effort produces 80% of your wins. Start by asking in the beginning of the day, what is my 20% today? Number two, use the Eisenhower matrix. Draw a square. Okay? Put it into 4 quadrants. Quadrant number 1, urgent plus important means what? Do it now. Quadrant number 2, not urgent plus important means I need to schedule it. Quadrant number 3, urgent plus not important means I got to delegate it. And then lastly, quadrant 4 is not urgent plus not important means delete it. Get it out. Here's the problem. Most people live in Q3 and Q4. Your goal is to dominate quadrant 1 and quadrant 2. Arianna Huffington, right? The Huffington Post calls it relentless prioritization. Try it. Try it. See how it works. Number 3, stay organized. Your environment reflects your mindset. You want to show me a disorganized desk? I'll show you someone that's behind. They're always going to be behind. And I remember I was at a meeting one time, and guy said, 95% of the companies fail for lack of organization. This is like 20 some years ago. I could tell you what, I got back to the office. I was like, I organized everything. I was like, oh my gosh, there's just no way. I cannot go down. So one of the questions that I ask in our interviews is if people make their bed. And that comes after my question about, are they organized? And if so, give me examples. If they make their bed, then I can go, okay, you confirmed it, right? So it's a confirmation if they are. If people aren't organized, I can tell you right now, they're not making their bed. And there's nothing worse than people that don't make their bed in the first thing. That is your first opportunity for a win every day and to feel good. Now, according to the National Association of Professional Organizers, an organized workplace increases productivity by up to 50%. Yes, please. Organization. I want 50% increase. Forbes says disorganization costs businesses up to 10% in lost productivity annually. No, thank you. Number 3 is, and the Wall Street Journal reports executives waste, listen to this, executives waste 6 weeks per year searching for lost documents. That is wow. 6 weeks? What? And then lastly, Express Employment Professional says 91% of workers say better organization would increase their efficiency. So, who is ready to be organized and stay organized? Exactly. Exactly. Number 4, know your time blocks. Time blocks or time blocking is when you divide your day into blocks of time and assign specific tasks or types of work to each block with the goal of 0 distractions. For example, 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. workout, right? 6 a.m. to 6:30, I'm going to do prayer and gratitude. 7 to 9, deep work and client proposals. 9 to 9:30, team meetings. 10 to 12, sales calls. 1 to 2, strategic planning. 3 to 4, email and admin follow-up. Guess what? Now you're not reacting to the day, you are dictating it. Did you catch that? You're not reacting to the day, now you're dictating it. I literally just had a conversation with our collectors today about the importance of time blocking. You know, they're struggling a little bit with making some calls, and I just said, hey guys, you just got to time block it, and you just got to put it in, and just when that time comes, you just get after it. It is what it is. So why does time blocking work? Number one, it increases focus. You do one thing at a time, which increases attention, and then that does what? It reduces mistakes. Number two, it reduces decision fatigue. You already know what to do and when to do it. No, like, mental ping pong going on. Should I do this or should I do that? I don't know. No, this is what I'm doing. It's blocked off. Number three, it eliminates being overwhelmed. Big projects become manageable when they're broken into focus blocks. It's like eating the elephant strategy. How do we do it? One bite at a time. So, number four, protect deep work time. Your most important thinking happens when you're uninterrupted and in the zone. So, figure out what works and stick to it. Number five, avoid distractions like a plague. Turn off your social media notification. Silence your email pings. You know what I'm talking about? That little thing. Every time an email comes in, bing, bing, bing. Like it's what? Here's a stat. It takes the average person 23 minutes to refocus after a distraction, according to University of California, Irvine. It takes the average person 23 minutes to refocus after a distraction. So multiply that times 10 distractions a day. That's 3+ hours of wasted time every single day. Number seven, test and measure. Want to get better? Start measuring. What's taking too long? What's not worth your time? Where are you losing minutes every day? Guess what small leaks do? They sink big ships. Number eight, stay physically and spiritually fit. I start my day early because it's quiet, it's focused, and it builds my body, my mind, and my spirit. Time management isn't just about the clock, it's about energy too. So if you don't have energy, we're not going to lead well. So here are some real world strategies from world-class studs. Elon Musk, are you ready for this? Time blocks in 5-minute increments. Dude, that is just insane in the membrane. Jack Dorsey, founder of Twitter, right? He does day theming. What is that? That Monday is for strategy, Tuesday is for marketing, Wednesday is for sales, and so on and so on. Is that you? Whatever works for you. Richard Branson, 10-minute stand-up meetings. 10-minute stand-up meetings. What happens when people are standing up? They want to sit down. Well, we're going to stand up, so that means they're going to talk quicker. I've done that before in the past, and it actually works. People are like, all right, let's go. Let's get this over with. I got to go sit down. So if billionaires are doing this, why wouldn't we? So my challenge for you tonight, pick one of these time management strategies and implement it tomorrow. Not next week, not next month, mañana. So track how it impacts your energy, track how it impacts your productivity, and then let me know about how your confidence is soaring. Remember this, John Maxwell, said, you will never change your life until you change something you do daily. Love that. So you can have the best ideas, you can have the best dreams and the most potential. But if you do not manage your time, you will never unlock what's possible. Time management is the gateway to revenue growth, to relationship depth, physical health, mental clarity, and personal legacy. So don't waste it. Own it. Because the difference between where you are and where you want to be isn't talent. It's time. And how you manage it will determine your outcome. So, discussion question. What's one time wasting habit you can cut this week? What's one time wasting habit you can cut this week? What you got?
I mean, mine's 100% distractions. I'm looking at text, email, everything. Just, I lose focus all the time. And 23 minutes to regroup is probably accurate.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Think about it, right? You have that momentum, and then next thing you know, it stops, and you're over here, and you're like, all right, then you get back over here, and you're like, well, wait, over here, and you just start playing the squirrel game.
Yep.
And before you know it, you're like, wait, what the heck did I just get done? I don't even know.
Nothing.
Right.
Yep.
So what is something that you could do in order to improve that?
I've been working on it for the last
Nice.
2 weeks. I noticed it like 2 weeks ago. It's like my phone's been buzzing, so I put that on silence. But some of it I can't ignore. That's the problem. That's what I'm struggling with, because you know, it's like the phone I can't totally silence, but I can silence certain things. So like some group chats I silence, but like I can't. I don't know. It's tough.
Yeah. No,
I don't
look,
have the
mean,
answer. I've been
that's
working on it.
all right, and that's all going to make a difference. So I like the fact that you group silence, group text, silencing group text or text. When you said there are certain things that you have to answer, help me understand. Like what would that be?
Just like clients trying to get me.
Okay.
You know,
So now
the problem is it's not. It used to be all through email and phone calls.
Yep.
And now people reach out to me in different ways, and some are the regular text, which they're not supposed to do, but they still do it. And then I have a texting app that I have to use, and then I've got emails. There's just so many different ways that people hit me up. Cell phone, and then my work line, and I want to get back to everyone in a reasonable time, but to monitor all those different channels, it's very easy when you pick up your cell phone to get distracted and like check the surf or like do things that I definitely should not be doing, but I just I'll do it, and then I get pulled away.
Right. How are you going to manage their expectations? Or how could you?
I don't know.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that's one of the big things that you can do is just through communication. Now, I don't know, you can have automatic reply. You can have an email blast that you send out just talking about, hey guys, listen, just want you to know, my goal for, calling everyone back is to respond, within 2 hours, 1 hour, whatever it is, right? To respond in time. And share why you're doing that. It's to better serve them. The whole purpose of that is to better serve them. Because if you're spread all over the place, right, you're just going to be average. And you're not going to be able to serve everyone with maximum focus and capacity and all of that. So by sharing the reason why that you're doing this and is just for that purpose, it's going to better serve them, which is going to get better returns, better communication, better everything. So sell the vision with that. When you start managing expectations, I'm telling you, when people manage expectations with me, I mean, I'm like, hey, dude, no problem. Totally get it. Look, the reality is you're probably not doing, someone's not calling you up and say, hey, I want to buy 100 shares of Microsoft.
No.
Right. So it's not like, I
Oh
mean,
yeah, it's all in my head. I mean,
exactly.
the reaction time is 100% in my head, but
Yeah. So I don't know if there's a
can't get it
way
out of my head.
to do that. So I would say, hey, just, put together, that email, that newsletter, and just talk about, this is one of the things that you're working on. In order to better serve you, my customers, these are some of the things that I'm implementing, and I'm doing this, that, and this. And the reason why I'm doing that right now, now that you've kind of dropped the anchors of, now I'm doing it because of this. It's going to allow me to do this. It's going to allow me to do that. And it's going to allow me to do this, which is going to provide a better service for all my customers. Now you've managed their expectations, because it's all about expectations. I mean, if you were to say, like, I always tell all my friends, they're like, yeah, call me anytime you want. I'm available 24/7. What? Available 24/7? That's no. Listen, this is when I'm available. Yeah, I'll call you. Like, I don't get an email and respond right away. It's okay to let people not respond. Everyone has now created that I got to respond right away. Now there's certain ones that you obviously have to do, but others, no way. I'm sure that there's plenty. If you were able to eliminate 80% of them, of getting right on everything, that you would improve your productivity and all of that good stuff. Happy to talk that through with you and look it over or whatever.
And Doug, you do have an assistant, right?
Yeah.
So, so they answer your question, Mike, Regina. um, Doug and I have similar challenges because we're in the same profession. I'm going to start getting my assistant to screen my phone calls for me, and just because a client wants to talk to me, to just ask and get a little bit more information. And even look on one of the things I'm starting to do now is on my calendar, blocking off time blocking. And so, because I don't want my client, if they call me and I answer every time, that's great in some sense, but it also tells them that I'm not actually working in some sense. If I'm always available, it and even when people get access to my calendar, I've got things time blocked. It looks like I only have 2 or 3 appointments available, but I do that on purpose for perception. And so, so that's going to be my thing I'm going to do this week is have Anna, because what I have been doing is I answer and I go, Laporte Wealth Management Group, and I won't tell them I'm Dustin, and they'll ask for me, and I say, I'd ask them a couple of questions before I let them know it's me. And most of the time I'll just tell him, I'll let him know that, and he'll get back in touch with you if he thinks it's important. And, so I've been screening a lot of my calls. So I think the wholesalers are starting to learn my voice, but but yeah, I think time blocking and just unless a client needs to place a trade right then and there, I think you're right. Scheduling them, having my assistant actually schedule the time for me to call back. I think that's an important part. So if you're time blocking on your calendar, I'm going to be doing this, then they could try to put that in there. So that's just an idea, just to let them know we're going to get back in touch with you, and so yeah. The only thing I don't like about our Redtail software, it doesn't give me alerts, because they call it attention deficit disorder, but I actually have hyper focus. If that makes sense. I won't hear my phone ringing. I won't hear the text messages coming in. If I'm in the middle of something, I'll have music going on, the TV going on, a couple other things to help me concentrate on what I'm doing. It's weird. I got a weird brain.
No, I get that. And you know what? I like that idea too about, and Doug, you can have your assistant say, hey, look, he's actually, working with a client right now. I mean, you're working with the client's work, I mean, you're working with a client. It might not physically be there, but you're working with, their account.
Yeah, no, I'm not responding to everybody right away.
Cool.
And yeah, I'll say that I was in a meeting, sorry for getting back to you.
Yeah.
But I get distracted. That's the problem. Like
Yeah.
I still listen to the voicemail. Like I don't pick up the call, but then I listen to the voicemail just to see if it's important. And then I'm like, oh, maybe I'll just do it.
Yeah. Well,
To
you know what?
cross
I,
it
I
off
would
my
just
list.
say if you can block that and say, hey, look, I will check emails. What we tell our team too is, hey, guys, work for 50 minutes. Get up, walk around. Just walk around. Do whatever. But go at it for a period of time and then get up. Check your phone, whatever. You're not like, we don't allow phones on their desk. So, that's just, again, one thing. How do you eliminate distractions? That's one of them. So, but yeah, that's good. It's just going to be, it's going to take time for you to build that muscle. How about you, Julie? What you got? What's one time wasting habit you can cut this week?
Going to the bathroom.
Yeah, you can't. Listen, you've had babies.
Well, I'm listening because I did 10 years of school, 4 years of law school. I can sit and then court. So I can sit for a long time because I had to. But now that I'm not doing that, I sit down at my desk and I'm like, it's time for me to go to the bathroom. And I know it's so funny, but that's my biggest thing. I'm like, or I have to get a drink.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just sat down. Like, this is ridiculous. But I just did come up with a really interesting concept. So right now, my desk is situated where I'm stuck in a corner. I literally have to like shimmy out around my desk to get out. And I was thinking about getting a new desk where I was facing out the window, but I don't think that's a good idea because the more I have to be stuck in the corner and shimmy out, the better it is for me. Because I feel like I'm kind of trapped right here.
Yeah.
Like, you can see I'm trapped in this corner.
Yeah.
So the less I want to get out, because I literally stab myself with the corner of the desk every time I do it. So that one is, I'm not going to get the new desk. And two is, I'm not going to tell myself that I have to go to the bathroom every time I sit down. Like, no. So that's
amazing.
very, very, very important.
Amazing. I love that.
Thanks.
So that next question. When do you feel most productive during the day?
Ooh, that's a good question.
For me, it's like mid-morning.
Okay.
It takes me a few minutes to wake up, take the dog out, look outside, chase lizards. And then now there's lizards. So it's like squirrel, no, lizard. And then by mid-morning, I'm like, I'm good.
So my follow-up question to that is, how can you better structure your schedule to capitalize on that window?
Block my time mid-morning to work.
Yeah. Whatever that is, whatever you're most productive, that 20% that's going to bring 80% of that revenue, make it that time.
Yeah, definitely.
How about you, Doug? When do you feel you're most productive during the day?
I would probably say up until 11 o'clock.
Okay. So that's where you want to get that 80%.
Maybe 12, like before lunch, and then, kind of lose momentum once I go grab a bite. And then I've been picking up the kids at 3 or 2:30 or whatever, so my day has been shot since that point on.
Yep.
So, but yeah, mornings for sure. I try and cram everything in.
Yeah, I'm definitely before everyone gets in, that's why I love getting here, in the office by, 4:35 and getting after it. That's really when I'm going to be most productive. And also, too, I'm also catching up on stuff too, current events and all that. It just allows me to do that, respond to emails, ideas. I do have to, focus on what it is I need to get done. I mean, I can really just start plugging away, before people come in and, who's walking by my office and who's got questions and all that kind of stuff. And the emails coming through. And, it's always good to have that quiet time for me. That's when I feel. So I try and use that for stuff that does take focus for sure early. What about you, D-Train? When do you feel most productive during the day? You've had plenty of time to think.
Did you say Dustin?
Yeah, I said D-Train.
D-Train. I was like, is he talking to me? Considering I didn't know if that was Mike's Geek VA thing. But, so it's weird. It's changed. Now that my wife has to get up at 5:30 in the morning to get ready for her new job, it's changed. Before it used to be from 12 to 2 a.m. in the morning.
Okay.
I used to go to bed around 2 a.m. in the morning.
Wow.
So, because but now with us having to get up earlier, I'm naturally starting to wake up at 4. So I think, and the reason I'm so productive at night is because I have no distractions from clients calling, you know. So my hyperactive brain is finally slowing down. So, so, but yeah, so I'll have to figure that out. I don't know the answer to it yet,
Okay.
but
Well,
I
it's
do
good.
have some unique challenges I want to run by you.
Yeah.
See what your
Cool.
input is.
Yeah. That
So,
sounds
but I'll let
great.
you ask the rest of the questions. You might even come to it.
Cool. Well, I got your homework.
And so, and this might be part of the homework. I'll
Could be
throw it
part of-
out
could be
there.
part of the homework.
I don't know if you have another question for us. Do you have another one?
I don't have another discussion question, but we can certainly discuss something if you guys have something you want to talk about.
Yeah. So
Um,
based on what you said, those statistics, um, it, I find myself probably totally opposite than the average person on all that. Even though I have, you know, attention deficit disorder clinically, but I'm like I'm like multi-speed. So it frustrates me because I don't have people there like me that work. I mean, I don't. It's kind of like I just don't understand the new world that I'm living in, where people. I just could never feel comfortable checking my text messages, looking Facebook or any of that kind of stuff while I'm at work. It's just like, I'm all about let's get it done. Let's get, I don't know. And so I'm trying to figure out how to best manage that without coming across like you know, I don't know. It may be I just need to pay my employees more that I've had in the past and expect more. Typically I've usually been college students or interns that work with me in the summer, and I'm just like, blown away. So any input, is it a culture thing, or is it, I just, as my wife had to set me down a couple of times and just say, they're not owners. They don't treat this business like an owner. you know, yeah, I don't get paid unless the work gets done. So it's a whole different mentality than getting paid. I don't think I've ever had a job where I had an hourly salary. You know, I've always been commission based. So,
right. Yeah. I mean,
advisory based.
number one, and I've had this discussion with my business partner all the time. You got to manage your expectations, because they're unrealistic of other people. And just like your wife said, no one is going to be as connected, as engaged, as motivated, as everything business as you. It's never going to happen, ever. So one, you got to manage your expectations. Number two, I remember when we first moved our company down here, we were paying people probably like $17, $18 an hour, right? You get what you pay for. That's just the reality. And, we learned pretty quickly. Well, it took us, I shouldn't say quickly, but eventually we learned that, hey, you're just not going to get this skill set without paying X amount of dollars. So, I mean,
Right.
our salaries went way up, and then bonuses, and then benefits, and all that stuff. It's just, that's just the reality of it. And then you start figuring out that, hey, once you get into this price point, now you're going to start getting quality. And like you said, you can, increase the expectations that you have on them, assuming that you're giving them every opportunity to be successful. One of the things I always make sure of is that, did we leave before we let go of anyone? Did we give them every opportunity to be successful? Did we give them all the tools that they needed? If we did provide it, and they didn't execute, bye-bye. It is what it is. But if we didn't, I need to give them one more shot, because it falls on me as the leader of not giving them that opportunity. But you really have got to manage your expectations of people. They're not going to be you ever. Ever.
And what was that saying by John Maxwell? You'll never change your life until you change.
Yeah. He said, you'll never change your life until you change something you do daily. So it's all about daily habits.
Yeah, it is.
Right? It's that 1%. I don't know if you guys have read Atomic Habits but it talks about being 1% better every day. And when you do that, after 1 year, you are 30 times better than when you started whatever that habit was. 1% per day. So building that 1% every day, you will be 30 times better at that particular habit in 1 year. So focus on the little things, right? That's everything. Can't make it big. You stare at just the big thing and you just get overwhelmed and you're like, I can't do it. Just little things, right? Small ball. They talk about in baseball, right? It's all about small ball, hit, single, double, single, double, boom, home run. It's all about playing the small ball. What else? Anyone else? And then I can give you some homework, and maybe if you want, you have questions on that, maybe. So homework number one, audit your time. Write down everything you do for one workday. Write it down. Highlight the task that drained time versus drove results. We're going to audit our time. What is draining? What is driving? Drain, drive, drain, drive. Number two, build your routine. Choose a system. Time blocking. Day theming. Post-it planning. I don't know, whatever it is. Then test it for 7 days. See how it works. Give it a shot. 7 days, try it out, see how it works. I can assure you, doing a little bit, gonna have big results. And then I got one that's really gonna hurt you. This is gonna be physically painful. Wake up 30 minutes earlier for 1 week. Wake up 30 minutes earlier and then use that time for reading, prayer, journaling, working out, whatever it is that energizes you. Do that by getting up a half hour early, and do it for 1 week.
Interesting. Start with what energizes you.
Yep.
I laugh because the only time I ever make it to the gym is if I guilt or if someone's going with me. Because
Or they get that guy in the back of your head saying, "Slacker, get over here."
no, it's not that. It's time efficient, time management. I'm kind of, I mean, like right now, the whole time we've been talking, I've been on a bike pedaling underneath the desk because I can't just sit still. It drives me crazy.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so yeah, but you are right. It's about reprogramming the brain. So
One of the things, so, I'm like, like you shake your knee, you shake your knee when you're sitting down. One of the things that I worked on is just controlling that. It's just controlling it. It's almost like I am going to own you. I'm going to win that battle. Not going to shake my leg. I'm just going to sit there, and I'm going to control it because I'm going to be in control.
yeah, well, that's why I'm exercising right now because I spend so much time at the desk.
Exactly. So any thoughts, ideas? What do y'all think about today's topic?
Good stuff.
Good stuff.
Yeah, this one my favorite.
Cool.
It's good.
I love time management. I mean, it's everything. I mean, look, like I said, Doug and I have traveled probably 5 years in a row, Doug?
Yep.
5 years in a row. Doug knows how I am. Dude, I'm
He's on time.
Yup. Okay, great. Yup. Okay, great. All right, boys. We are leaving at 5:30. Not whenever. We're leaving at 5:30. Who's coming? Right? And I have to literally push them for 30 minutes to get them to the point where everyone is in the car at 5:30 and we're rolling. Right? So, and of course, the benefit is we get to an early surf break, less crowds, better waves. So by having that time management, we get better experiences, all that kind of good stuff. So that's just on the vacation side. On the business side, everything's going to be better, right? You're going to have more revenue, more customers, the ability to service more. You're going to be happier, all that good stuff. So we ready to go forth and conquer? All right, y'all.
Yes.
Let's get
Love
after
it.
it.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, Mike.
Appreciate
Peace, bless.
Good night.
And I'm out. Peace.
All right. Peace.
Ciao.